Alright guys, I thought I'd make a video of this YZ250 power valve linkage and how it works. Whenever I got this motor, it was missing quite a few of these little parts here, and I had to order them. Some of them you can't order, so you're going to have to improvise if you don't have them. So I'm going to show you how it operates, because I had a heck of a time figuring out how it operated, because I got this in actual some pieces. So it wasn't all together when I got it. So I'm going to show you how it works, and once you get this linkage together, how it's supposed to operate. So on this, you got quite a few things here. This back piece you can order, and that's one piece I had to get. That's the piece that actually fits on the power valve piece to turn it. So, and then from that you have a little spacer that you cannot order, and it's got a little it's like a washer with another spacer that goes inside this spring to hold this spring steady, and I'll take this apart and show it to you in a minute. And from there it goes into the spring, like I said, and from there it goes into the actual linkage that doesn't come apart. But underneath here is a spacer that I actually had to make also. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you how it works here, and then I'll go ahead and take this apart and you can see all the little pieces. So I'm not going to take the entire other side out, but just the linkage and whatnot's the main thing that's the problem, because the other stuff you can see it in blown apart diagrams, but you can't see how this operates hardly. So on this, what I'm going to be doing is just moving this up and down, like in the case when your RPMs get high enough, it would operate this up and down just like that. So just like you see there, and you can see it can go past there, and that's what that spring's for. It's a return spring. You can see it can go past the where the valve goes. That way it doesn't damage anything. It's got some slack there, so if your RPMs go quite high, it'll right in there somewhere and won't hurt nothing and go right back. But right there, just where it comes apart as far as the power valve's going to go. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's just sitting normal. This would be like idle if you were idling the bike, or just with the bike off here. So I'll show you inside here what it looks like. Alright, so in there you can see on the top there is your power valve. Just back there. And now what I'm going to do out here is operate this up and down. Just like this. So what's going to be happening is, this is like if you were riding your bike and you were hitting the power band. It would operate this up and down. So that's what I'm going to do to show you here what the difference is. So right there in the middle, the shiny piece in the middle, is your power valve. So you can see it would open it up like that as it comes up, and you can see that the side ports open up, and then when you let it off, it kind of closes your exhaust a little bit, so you don't got as much flow. So I'll kind of open it up here again, get a good view of it, and just like that. You can see like right here as far as it'll go, but then my spring is going farther, but you can see it's not going nowhere. Like I said, that's what happens when your spring is farther. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just take this apart, that way you can see the pieces that it takes. Normally on these, this notch taken out of this is just to stick in here, and that's so you can tighten or loosen this without the actual power valve moving, or you having to hold the power valve. So that can just stick there, and I've just got this hand tight, and there is a torque for this in the book, so I'm not sure what that is, but you can refer to it if you need to. It's quite a long screw. Not quite as long as the one that holds the power valves together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop my tool. Take that out and pull this out. Alright, so let me get a little bit closer here and I'll show you how it comes apart. So on the very back here, let me take it off that spring because it's got a little tension. Alright, so in the very back here, you got this piece here, which actually sets on your power valve. Just like that. And that's what actually operates the power valve, or actually, holds onto it. From there, I got this spacer. This I had to come up with on my own. You can't order this. Well, at least the ones I looked at, you couldn't order this part. It wasn't actually numbered. And what this is, I actually took it off. I don't know if there's one on there, but usually it's the pieces that go on your plastics, so you don't strip out the plastics. So that's what that is. It's just I'm not sure the size of it, but that's just the one I had laying around. So what that would do, what I'm going to take off next here is a spring, and I'll show you what the spacer's for. Alright. So what I needed the spacer for was for the spring. See, this is the spring. You can actually order this, thankfully, because that would be a hard spring to find, I think. So what I got this for, you can see it's not perfect in there, but it's not enough room to play to matter. It's just not going to matter at all. So that's what I got that spacer for. And that spring would be off there next. Alright, then on here now is... Let you see, I'm just taking the bolt out for the show you the last piece. And this spacer is the one I had to actually make. Because this piece you cannot order either. Come on. Such a good fit, I can't get it out. Alright. So this piece actually goes in here, and what I couldn't find any metal, and I'm sure if I looked around a hardware store I could probably find something, but it's not really going to matter. It's just to take up some slack. This is just a square nut that I rounded off, that's all. Just grinded it down until it fit perfectly in there, and now you can see it. It just takes the slop out of your linkage. Since that piece there, that spacer, is not a piece you can order. Then this is bolt, and this washer, you can order this. Oop. So that's how that goes. So I'm going to put it together here for you. You see the spacer goes in there. It's going to kind of come out on me. Alright. You just need something that's going to fill that space, that's all. I mean, whatever you can find, just make sure it's metal. Because the first time I did it, I didn't realize how hot this got, and I used a piece of plastic. So, lesson learned, it didn't hurt nothing, it just melted and caused me some slop in the linkage. Alright, so I got that on there, the nut and washer, the bolt and washer. So next would be my spring, and I'll show you how the spring goes once we get a little bit farther in. The next would be my spacer, the one you can't order that you have to make, or not make, but find somewhere. So on this you can see my springs are here, so I'm just going to leave this back one closest to me on the lip. I'm just going to push this one down to that side, just like that. You can see how it's on there, just like that. It may pop off there if I ain't holding it. Alright, then the next part is this, and you can see that you want to keep this to this side, obviously. And I'm going to turn this valve to where I know it needs to be. So we'll just put it right there. Just line it up with that, and you'll be good. So now this would go on to here next, and it would go also between the springs. Right in matched with this. And right there between the springs. You can see on both sides. It's tucked underneath this outer one and then between the springs. So now it's ready to connect onto here. Push it all the way up and then just screw your bolt in. Switch arms here. Arms getting a little tired. Alright, tighten that all up, just snug for now, and then I'll go ahead and stick my Allen head back in there. Alright, there's snug. Go ahead and stick this Allen key back into there. Alright, so now we can see that it's actually on to that. There's no space there, so I know it's, when this is going to move up and down, it's going to operate that power valve, and it's not off of that part there. So I'm just going to tighten this up from this side. Alright, just like that. While that's in there, you can see that it's not going to move while I'm just tightening it a bit. Alright, so that's that. You just don't want that coming loose while you're riding. So it won't actually fall apart because this will come out far enough that it'll hit your cover, and it won't actually all fall apart in there. It just, your power band won't kick in because of it being loose. So I'll show you this operating up and down real quick. Let's see how it goes. You just want to make sure that this is springing back. And if it ain't, there might be something wrong in there. And if your power band still isn't kicking in, there's probably something wrong in there. So there you go, YZ250. This is a 1997 YZ250. And there's your power valve. Thanks for watching.